It's a good time for everyone also to sharpen your skills right now while it's down. If you get them at a really cheap price, but you know they have upside potential, you know that they are good, they know that you know that they're disrupting the status quo, you know also that based on what's happened to Luna, they have lesser vulnerabilities. Trading better, it's realizing that you are investing in a piece of technology, in a piece of software that will push you to make better investment decisions. Hey guys, so I want to make sense of what's happening in the crypto markets right now because we've seen it drop massively from the highs of November 2021. And what's interesting about that is we've seen Bitcoin drop more than half already, and we've seen some altcoins drop 60-70%, and we've seen smaller altcoins, the ones that have pushed also on a very high note in 2021, at the peak of 2021, some of them down about 90+%. And you add what happened to Luna last week, where we saw Luna in a span of a few days drop from almost $80 per Luna to literally zero. And of course, while that was happening, you had USD depegged from the dollar, and then you also have ANC, which is part of its ecosystem, also get massively hit. That's another story altogether. If you want me to share my thoughts on Luna, put it in the comment section below and I'll try to make a video on top of that. Now, while that's happening also is that the NFT market really wasn't surging, it really wasn't pushing up, it was somehow also stagnant, it also dropped a bit. After the land sale of other deeds, we haven't really seen a lot of excitement. And I'm trying to remember what happened at the first few months of 2022, that when we saw the crypto market start to correct, it made Ethereum lower, it made ETH lower. That actually meant that buying some of the NFTs became relatively cheaper, and that's why we saw the NFT market start to push up. If you remember it, those were the times when you saw even Sandbox push up, the lands in Sandbox push up, Crypto Moris push up. We saw a lot of those women empowerment NFTs also start to go up, but that's not the case from where we are in May 2022. Bitcoin is down, a lot of the altcoins are down, even the NFT markets are down. But if you also try to revisit it from last year, somewhere around this period, we also saw the crypto market also drop down, and there were a lot of issues also prevailing at that time. One of the biggest headline issues was China banning Bitcoin mining in their area, which led to an exodus of miners from China going to the US and other countries, which dropped the hash rate. And as you all know, where Bitcoin goes, everyone actually follows, or how Bitcoin goes, how the price of Bitcoin goes, everyone follows. For this year, it's a combination of a lot of things. Whatever happens in the US, or particularly how US stocks perform, up until now, it's highly correlated to how Bitcoin performs, and how Bitcoin performs, it's highly correlated also to how the crypto market will perform. And that's why we've seen the crypto market down, because primarily its largest token, its largest coin, Bitcoin, has been hit massively, and it's primarily because of what's happening in the US market. Fears of a recession, fears of high inflation rates that have been already disclosed, fears also of the US government, the US Fed increasing interest rates. And please do notice, for those who have not been investing in the stock market, I would always say this, that when the Fed increases interest rates, it actually means that those who would place money in fixed instruments or fixed assets have the ability to earn guaranteed money. And for a lot of institutions that have billions locked up in funds, having a 0.25, having a 0.5 increase, you know it's guaranteed, and you know you're putting in billions, then it's a no-brainer for a lot of them shifting their funds from the stock market, which a lot of people consider highly volatile or risky, into these assets that they can get a guaranteed rate of return. So increasing interest rates is not something that's bullish for the market in general, because it generally incentivizes these large funds to move their money from something that's volatile like the stock market into bonds, which is also highly connected to outflow from the stock market, means also outflow, volatility, fear, uncertainty, and doubt for the crypto market as well. A lot of people who are watching this come from different backgrounds and different tenures also in investing in the market. For those who have been investing in stocks for quite some time, for those who have been investing in crypto for quite some time, this is not something that's worrisome, this is not something that's scary, this is not something that people lose sleep over, especially if you've seen this over and over, if you've seen movements like this, if you've seen volatilities like this, you've seen drops like this is something that happens, and this manages expectations for a lot of people who entered the crypto market, that they were in it because they saw great gains from different tokens from last year, or even from NFTs from last year, or even at the start of the year. They've seen very, very good movements like that. However, it's a reminder that it doesn't work that way. The reason why it's volatile, volatility works not just on upward swings, it also happens on downward swings, and we are in the downward trajectory of that. It's a good time for everyone also to sharpen your skills right now while it's down, to sharpen your conviction, either knowing and familiarizing yourself with the projects that you really want to stack while they're cheaper, or to be better at technical analysis, regardless if you're shorting and trading derivatives, or if you're just using spot and just trading long. All of those things will work, but this should be the time for you already to improve your skills. This should be the time for you also to get better. This should be the time for you to be able to find ways on how you can get better while all of this uncertainty and lack of movement is actually happening in the crypto space. And if you notice it also from a certain point at the start of the year, even referencing Bitcoin, if you look at it, there was a support somewhere around the 32,000 mark. However, the past few days of volatility, we broke below the 32,000 support level. Now, that being said, if we do not go above that level, that 32,000, that 30,000, 32,000 level may solidify itself also as a resistance. Hence, I'm not saying that we may see some more downward moves, but we may consolidate from a 26,000 level support area to a 30,000 resistance level area. And where Bitcoin goes, that's where the entire market will actually flow, and that's where the entire market will actually go. So from a technical analysis point of view, it's highly important that at least we go back to around 32,000, and should we range from 3240, that would still be a better position than 26 to 30,000 position. And I just wanted to say this also from a Bitcoin halving point of view, that it's May 2022, somewhere near the midway point of the Bitcoin halving cycle. And that being said, normally in the middle of it, that's where you also see movements where it's the least exciting. That's where you see movements where a lot of people who bought higher have lost interest in it. And that's why knowing these are cycles, knowing that what goes up will also go down, will highly influence the way you invest. And above and beyond sharpening your skills, it's so important always to revisit your goals. And this doesn't just work for the stock market, this works also for the crypto market. You have to realize what's your reason for you being in the crypto market. Are you stacking Bitcoin because you just want it to be something that's a hedge against the dollar? Are you buying Ethereum because you want to buy a platform that allows you to run programs on top of it, that you're buying a platform that has the ability to be smart money, that we will see more and more dApps use Ethereum over the next few years? It has to go back to what your underlying reason is for buying that particular crypto or that particular token. And please do remember this, that for you to be able to survive this, it's a deep understanding that it's not just anymore just a financial asset. And that's one of the biggest things that I keep telling people. My take on crypto before is I used to look at it as a stock, but the more you realize it, it's not a financial asset, it's really a piece of technology, it's really software. And as you start dealing towards what it actually is, you realize that it's you having an exposure on this software that's actually game-changing. Above and beyond revisiting your goals on why you're in it for the market and increasing your skill set to either be a better investor, researching more about the projects and trading better, it's realizing that you are investing in a piece of technology, in a piece of software that will push you to make better investment decisions. When markets are good, when markets are bullish, people don't like Bitcoin. People would say that Bitcoin is a boomer coin. Bitcoin's slow. Bitcoin has scalability issues. Bitcoin is not as good. Bitcoin is this. Bitcoin is that. But when the market is down, a lot of people are flocking to Bitcoin. Because at the end of the day, it may be the oldest coin. It may be compared to a lot of the newer altcoins that's there in terms of what it could possibly do from a technological standpoint. Even though it's slower, it's not as scalable, it's still the most decentralized, it's still the most secure. Compared to a lot of the other cryptos that we've seen, Bitcoin has crashed, but it has shown us time and time again that it has rebounded. That's not the case for a lot of other cryptos. That's not the case for a lot of other tokens. That's not the case for everything that we're actually seeing there. That's not the case for it. It's not. We've seen a lot of tokens and cryptos drop massively, drop 90%, 95%, 99%, to actually not even return, to not actually go back. And that's why a lot of people are flocking into Bitcoin. And if you try to analyze it better, Bitcoin is volatile. In my opinion, I think it's actually even safer than stable coins. Stable coins are not volatile. However, Bitcoin is secure, Bitcoin is decentralized, Bitcoin is the most tested, Bitcoin cannot be shut down. And Bitcoin in times like this people have been flocking to it because when the market is bearish, there will be a flight into quality. There will be a flight into projects that will be very, very good. And what is the apex project? Still Bitcoin. So if you're the type of person that you don't know what to do, you've seen a lot of volatility, you've seen a lot of downward moves, I really believe that Bitcoin is still one of the soundest cryptocurrencies out there, and we've seen it time and time again. And that being said though, if you're the type of person that is looking for alpha, altcoins are the ones that get wrecked as much. But when the market reverses, which as what I've mentioned, it's just cyclical, which it will do eventually, altcoins will push up the fastest. Altcoins will push faster than Bitcoin. Of course, no one has a crystal ball to know what will be relevant 10, 20 years from now. But you have to make educated decisions on which of the projects you think will fare better. You have to make educated decisions based on research, decisions based on the timeline, the roadmap, the project, what the project is actually disrupting, who are the people behind it, the funding, the tokenomics, and so much other factors that as you start studying them, as you start looking into them, you start to figure out that these are the projects that based on what I know, based on what I've studied, will fairly do better, and then that's where you position into. When times are bad, it's nice to look for bargains, but you have to take bargains based on the quality that they actually have, because not everything that's cheap will survive, not everything that's cheap will be relevant 5-10 years from now. So look for the ones that are reasonably priced. If you get them at a really, really cheap price, but you know they have upside potential, you know that they are good, they know that you know that they're disrupting the status quo, you know also that based on what's happened to Luna, they have lesser vulnerabilities. Again, that's what's nice about the ones that have been longer from the Ethereums and the Bitcoins of this world, because they have gone through a lot already and are still standing. And that's what's so interesting now. Just zeroing in back to Luna, you haven't seen Bitcoin go to zero, you haven't seen Ethereum go to zero, in spite of so many things happening along the way. And that's what I'm saying. Find projects that are cheap, that are quality, that you've studied the most, that you think over the next years will be very, very relevant, but because the market is down right now, you have the ability to be able to stack them cheaper. Don't panic. Use this time to study, use this time to research, use this time to build your skill, use this time to get better, use this time to deploy assets on tokens and coins that are quality. Use it on the ones that you know are run by good people. So there, I hope you guys got a lot from this, and I hope that this was something that was useful. If you want to learn more about this, we have a masterclass on NFTs, altcoins, Bitcoin, and so much more. I'll put links in the description below. If you want to learn more how you can trade using technical analysis, two ways. I have a book. It's called Breaking the Resistance. Link is in the description below. Secondly is we have a course which is on demand, which is a pre-recorded course. You can check it out down below as well. And if suddenly this crypto market is something that makes sense to all of you or something that you want to try, check out links below for crypto exchanges that you can use for you to be able to open. So I'll put the link below also for those who want to enter in the crypto space. That's it for now. This is Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, and God bless you all.